Presto. Okay.
Please be seated. It is a great pleasure to welcome you to this commencement to honor the spring 1998 graduates of the University of Wisconsin, Parkside. I am John Ostheimer, Interim Chancellor. Let me introduce the members of the platform party. Please hold your applause until I've introduced them all. From my right, Sarah Walker, President of the UW Parkside Alumni Association, Gary Meyer, Distinguished Alumni Achievement Award winner, John Hansen, Executive Director of University Advancement, William Streeter, Vice Chancellor for Administration and Fiscal Affairs, Patrick Boyle, Member of the Board of Regents, University of Wisconsin System, Stephen McLaughlin, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Services and Dean of Students, Sheldon Hackney, Professor of History at the University of Pennsylvania, former Chairman of the National Endowment for the Humanities, and today's commencement speaker, Ron Singer, Associate Vice Chancellor for Planning, Budget, and Resource Allocation, and Graduate Dean, serving today as Provost and Vice Chancellor. Ron Pavalko, former Dean and standing in today for the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Richard Stoltz, Dean, School of Business and Technology. And Joe Balsano, Professor of Biological Sciences and today's Chief Marshal. Thank you. This is a special day for you graduates. When you receive your degree today, you will join nearly 13,000 others who have graduated from this university. You'll be part of a proud group of alumni who have a tradition of accomplishment and of making contributions to society. Some of you will begin your professional careers and will face the challenge of finding your special place in this rapidly changing world. Others will have an opportunity to explore new levels of growth by continuing your studies at the next level. I invite you to think for a moment about how you got this far. There were probably several key factors: support from other people, and I would like at this time, before we forget to do this, to allow time for the graduating students to recognize and honor their parents, their friends, spouses, and others who have helped them to arrive at this point. There were probably other factors that helped you to get this far. Some of you received financial aid. Without a doubt, that was crucial in your ability to achieve this mark. And certainly I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge your own brain power, which in part is what got you to this point. Surely one key factor that got you here was your determination, your persistence. All of you have learned that if you keep moving towards your goal, despite the reverses that you find along the way, you will get there. I've met some of you personally. The other day I talked with one graduating student here today who started her college studies 26 years ago. Started her bachelor's degree 26 years ago. She could be the best example of determination in this group of graduates, but somehow that I'm not even aware of other even better examples. Perhaps some of you read this winter the novel by Charles Frazier called Cold Mountain. Now, the feats accomplished by the two lead characters in that novel, Ada and Inman, represent real determination. Their efforts to survive and to find new life together in the rural Appalachia of 150 years ago would be hard for any of us to duplicate. Nevertheless, you should be proud. You have shown the same quality, and I congratulate you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Patrick Boyle of the Board of Regents of the University of Wisconsin System. Patrick Boyle was named to the Board of Regents by Governor Tommy Thompson. He is serving a 7-year term. A native of Mauston, Wisconsin, Dr. Boyle earned his PhD in Extension Education from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 1957. He was a professor in the Department of Continuing and Vocational Education at UW-Madison from 1958 to 1993. Dr. Boyle has served in a variety of administrative positions throughout his years in the UW system. He has chaired dozens of state and national committees on higher education and extension. Patrick Boyle served as the Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin Extension from July 1, 1983 to August 1990. As head of the third largest institution in the UW system, Chancellor Boyle was responsible for statewide leadership, development, coordination, and monitoring of extension and continuing education activities within the entire UW system and throughout Wisconsin's 72 counties. He also was director of the Cooperative Extension Service. Patrick Boyle is the author of numerous articles and publications on continuing education and extension, including a book entitled Planning Better Programs. Please join me in welcoming Regent Pat Fuller.
Thank you very much, Chancellor. And good afternoon and welcome. On behalf of the Board of Regents, I offer congratulations to the graduates, your parents, relatives, and friends. Also, I offer a sincere thanks to the faculty, staff, and administration for your excellence and dedication to higher education in the great state of Wisconsin. Graduates, you have been given the opportunity to obtain an excellent education at this outstanding institution. You have been challenged. You've had a lot of fun during those challenging times. Most of all, you have met the challenge. However, this challenge will continue. The great British statesman Winston Churchill, I think, gave us a wonderful description of commencement. And I quote, "This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. It is the end of the beginning. It is the beginning of your involvement in your careers and in this global world that we all live in." Again, on behalf of the Board of Regents, I want to wish you success and happiness in your future careers and challenge you to contribute to society in a variety of different ways so we all might live with honor and in peace. Thank you very much.
I would now like to introduce Sarah Walker, President of the UW Parkside Alumni Association, who will present the Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Good afternoon. I was going to start off by saying thank you for coming, and then I realized I really should be thanking you for allowing me the opportunity to be part of your special day. I do offer my congratulations to you graduates and your families and friends. You have a lot to be proud of and even more to look forward to. As president of your Alumni Association, I thought I'd briefly tell you about some of our goals before I introduce our Distinguished Alumni Award recipient. We started out the year with the intent to reach out to our community, and we define the community as being current students, many of whom do not know of the existence of the Alumni Association, and we're working on that. And then are also reaching out to the community of alums, both new, and that would be you, and ongoing alums, current old alums. And in reference to the new alums, I do want to mention that after the ceremony today, the Alumni Association will be handing out ice cream and window decals to all you new graduates. So be sure and stop by the concession stand on your way out the door. We are also, as part of our efforts to get Parkside to be more well-known in the community, reaching out to the local communities of Racine and Kenosha and surrounding areas. And this emphasis on community is why it gives me such great pleasure to introduce this year's recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Service Award. Gary Meyer is our recipient, and Gary's personal outreach to the community in which he lives, quite frankly, makes the efforts of the entire board of the the Alumni Association pale in comparison. I'm going to list a few of Gary's activities just to highlight how he's made such a contribution to the community, which reflects so well upon your university. Since graduating from the university in 1977, Gary has served as both a member and president of the Racine-Kenosha chapter of the Institute of Management Accountants. He's also been a coach of various youth sports teams in Racine, in basketball, baseball, and soccer. He's been the chairperson of the Education Committee of the Sacred Heart Parish in Racine. He has also served on the Budget Committee for the Racine United Way. He's been the Cup Master for the Sacred Heart Cup Pack number 120. He's been a president of the Racine Soccer Club, chairman of the board of the Racine Soccer Club, and he's been the president of the Racine Parochial Athletic League Board of Control, as well as the Sacred Heart Athletic Association. And he's also been very active with the Sports Coaches Association, the National Youth Sports Coaches Association. All of these efforts, however, are what one would call back burner efforts when compared to the devotion Gary has shown his family and his faith. Gary is the active and loving husband and father to 5 children. And in the grand scheme of life, these are the areas one puts on the front burner. And to tell you more about the importance of making that distinction and the importance of having balance in one's life, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Gary Meyer. Distinguished alumnus for outstanding service to the community, Gary Meyer.
Thank you, Sarah. As well as the Alumni Association and the University of Wisconsin Parkside for this recognition. It's an honor to receive this award for service, and as well to have an opportunity to address this commencement. I would especially like to thank my wife Patty for making this day possible for me, because she's the person that nominated me for this award. Behind every good man there stands a great woman, and that definitely goes for Patty. In addition, I'd like to thank Patty, my 3 sons, 2 daughters, for the continued support they've given me over the years. With the opportunity to serve, there usually comes a good share of evening meetings as well. And I thank them for the sacrifices that they've made so that I could become more involved. A number of the organizations, as you heard, that I have served through provide programs to youth. In most cases, my first contact with them was with my children participating in the programs that they offered. From there, the usual progression has been an invitation from the organization to become more involved in the administrative functions of the organization. And also a feeling on the part of Patty or myself that we could make a real difference in helping the organization attain their goals, and thereby make the community a better place. What began as an attempt sometimes to get some more quality family time would escalate into becoming the president of the organization. This desire to make the community a better place for our children was instilled in us by our parents. My parents, Clayton and Pat Meyer, Patty's parents, Ed and Dorothy Kuja, are here today. And I thank you for the example you've always set for us and for being here to share this day. Our parents also helped instill in us a strong Christian Catholic faith. That faith calls us to serve. Throughout my adult life, I have always been involved in some way with the congregation of which I was a member. It began when Patty and I first married, when Father Mike Benham invited us to help out with the parish youth group at St. John's in Racine, and continues today as I have the pleasure to work with Father Joe Hornacek as trustee at Sacred Heart Parish in Racine. For then and for now, I thank these gentlemen for extending the invitation to serve. Metal World, where I am president, is a family-owned metal fabricating and metal supply company. I've worked for the company since graduating from UW Parkside in 1977. And before that, worked in the plant part-time while I was going to school. I learned about the metal fabricating business from the bottom up, getting the dirtiest, crummiest jobs that could be imagined. This was all part of my dad's master plan to ensure that my 5 brothers and I got so sick of factory work, we were sure to get our college diplomas. My dad's plan worked to perfection, with 5 of us getting degrees in accounting, and the black sheep of the family becoming a family physician. Not only did my dad help steer me down the right path regarding education, but my on-the-job education continued from there. I've been most fortunate in having him as a mentor, not only in learning how to run a metal fabricating business, but also as a mentor in learning how, as a businessman, there is a responsibility to be of service to your community. I am grateful for my dad for the example he has shown me in finding a balance of work and service to the community. I was almost not a UW Parkside graduate. When entering college, my plan was to get a degree in accounting, sit for the CPA exam, and go into public accounting. At that time, there were only a handful of colleges or universities in the state that offered a degree in accounting, which allowed you to sit for the CPA exam. UW Parkside was not one of them. Plan A was to go to Parkside for 2 years, then transfer to one of these schools to complete my degree and sit for the CPA exam. After 2 good years at Parkside, I transferred to UW Milwaukee to begin my junior year. However, after 2 weeks at UWM, I transferred back to UW Parkside. Fortunately for me, that year UWM started school a week before Parkside. When I came back to town on Thursday evening, I hustled down to Main Place just before they removed the last computer terminals used for registration. I was back in the classroom here that following morning. What happened to Plan A in those 2 years? For one, over those 2 years, I developed a greater interest in the family business, and sitting for the CPA exam didn't seem all that important to me. And while at the time UW Parkside was not notorious for its wild campus life, there was camaraderie that had developed with a number of my fellow students, and more than enough student activities offered on campus. But more importantly, after 2 weeks at UWM, I developed a greater appreciation for the smaller class sizes and the availability of professors that Parkside had to offer. I went on to graduate from Parkside with a bachelor's degree in business management, and have worked at the family business since then. And oddly enough, at the end of my junior year, the regulations for sitting for the CPA exam were changed, allowing Parkside graduates to sit for the exam, which I never took. I can honestly say that I came of age here at Parkside. I am grateful for the well-rounded education I received at this university. It provided me with the skills needed to succeed in the business world and to serve the community as well. I wish today's graduates confident that the skills you have acquired here will serve you well. But in addition, I challenge you to be open to the invitation to serve your community, and that you accept that challenge to make your community a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, and we're glad you came back to UW Parkside. We are very privileged today to have Dr. Sheldon Hackney as our commencement speaker. As a scholar, an author, a teacher, and a university administrator, Sheldon Hackney has compiled a distinguished record of achievement and leadership during a career that has spanned more than 3 decades. Born in Birmingham, Alabama, Hackney earned his BA at Vanderbilt and his MA and PhD degrees at Yale. He served in the U.S. Navy from 1956 to 1961, spending 3 years at sea and 2 years teaching at the U.S. Naval Academy. He served on the faculty of Princeton University and as provost from 1972 to 1975. Dr. Hackney then was president of Tulane University for 5 years and president of the University of Pennsylvania for 12 years. Sheldon Hackney became the chairman of the National Endowment for the Humanities in 1993, a position he held for 4 years. He recently returned to the University of Pennsylvania as a professor of history, a role that he truly enjoys. Dr. Hackney is an award-winning author on the history of the South, and he teaches undergraduate courses at Penn. His book, Populism to Progressivism in Alabama, won the American Historical Association's 1970 Albert Beveridge Prize for the best book on American history. Dr. Hackney and his wife, Lucy Durr Hackney, have 3 grown children. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sheldon Hackney.
Provost Ostheimer, distinguished guests, members of the faculty, candidates for degrees, I share with Sarah Walker's sense of pleasure about being here with you today. I love these events, these commencement events. I've spent my entire adult life in universities, except for my 4 years in Washington. And as you know, Washington is something else entirely. But now I'm back to the real world in universities, and I am something of a commencement junkie. So I love to be at these occasions and to watch somebody else work. But it is an honor to be here with you now. I may not feel quite as indebted to you as the members of the candidates for degrees, indebted in the various senses of that word, but I am grateful for the chance to participate in this great American rite of passage. Now, as human beings, we all go through several significant transitions, both good and bad, during the course of our lives. As Americans, however, we live under a particular and very powerful cultural commandment to perfect ourselves, to be always in motion, always on the go, moving up, getting on with life, taking off, rolling down the track, getting our kicks on Route 66. The preamble to the Constitution says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union." And you see, we're all still seeking to form a more perfect union. We're always in process. America is a journey. It is an adventure in self-rule, both individual and collective. You are thus in the great American tradition of movement, of self-improvement, of self-invention. Madonna and Dennis Rodman are not the first Americans to have reinvented themselves. They are simply the most outlandish and most recent examples of a tradition that includes such distinguished and self-conscious self-fabricators as Benjamin Franklin in the 18th century, P.T. Barnum and Wild Bill Cody in the 19th century. You don't have to cross-dress or to flout custom to participate in one of the meanings of America, that is the freedom to choose who you want to be, to choose your own identity. Now that's the good news that I bring you today. I bring you some bad news also, and that is that you are not done with education. Actually, you're just beginning. Now, I am very sorry to be the messenger for that dose of reality, but there it is. It makes me think of a man who was walking around in a park that was unfamiliar to him one foggy day, and he wandered too close to the edge of a precipice and fell right off. And as he was tumbling down the sheer face of this precipice, he reached out and he grabbed a bush that was growing out from this perpendicular wall, and he hung there, and he knew that it was a very deep chasm because the rocks that he dislodged with his kicking and thrashing took several seconds before they hit the bottom, and he was terrified. He was absolutely struck with horror. So he had to make a great effort to compose himself, and he did. And then he started shouting for help. And he shouted, "Help! Help! Is anybody up there?" And he was getting hoarse and yelling and tiring, and he felt that he couldn't hold on to the bush much longer. When a deep voice came rumbling through this cavern, this chasm, and it said, "I am here." "Terrific!" cried the man. "Terrific! I'm saved! What should I do?" "Have faith," said the voice. "Oh Lord," cried the man, "I do have faith. Now what should I do?" "Have faith and let go," said the voice. The man thought about that for a minute, and then he said, "Is anybody else up there?" So you may be asking yourselves whether there is another commencement speaker up there somewhere, but there's not. You know, I am what happens to you when Seinfeld goes on vacation and that sort of thing. You really don't have an option. But perhaps locating yourselves in a great American tradition of change and self-determination will be some consolation. Now the problem is, when you're searching for the American identity, the tradition, that almost every distinctively American trait one can think of has its opposite that is also very American. Hard work is something that we were taught by the Puritan forebears, is its own reward, is a way to worship God, is something that is built into our personalities. We disdain the idle rich. We think that work is very good, both materially and spiritually. Yet we are also a society that is actually entranced by get-rich-quick schemes. There's the gold rush of 1849, the land rush into Oklahoma, the oil rush into Texas, and need I mention it, Las Vegas and Atlantic City and other gambling casinos, and even Wall Street, you see. We just love to get rich quick, even though we love work. We're a society that believes in the common man very much. We admired Harry Truman because he seemed to be such an ordinary American who performed admirably in the world's most demanding job. Yet we're also fascinated by celebrity. I think the British royal family is more popular in the United States than it is in Great Britain. We're a very middle-class society. We believe in postponed gratification and saving for tomorrow and doing today and providing for the future. The ants and the grasshoppers is a parable we understand. Yet this is also a society that has invented fast food and instant coffee and instant pudding and instant rice and instant salvation and instant everything. We are a very pragmatic society. Yet we're also the country in the world that the country that has been the host to more utopian experiments than in any other society on the face of the globe. This is communal experiments all over the country. What were the Branch Davidians doing in Waco anyway? They were perfecting themselves. They were creating a perfect community. We are a materialistic society, our European friends tell us, devoted to things, to consuming, yet this is the most religious society in the developed world. We are a society whose economy is driven by greed, which is a good thing, we're told, yet we're also the most philanthropic society on the face of the globe. Now, I don't mean to suggest by these dualities, these opposites, that there is no such thing as a national character, even in our own multicultural, very heterogeneous, diverse society. However hard it may be to describe that national character, it does exist. Now, one of our big problems these days, for instance, is the question of the one and the many. A question that has been with us since the beginning of the United States. How can we be one nation composed of so many different cultures and traditions? The project over which I presided at the National Endowment for the Humanities, entitled A National Conversation on American Pluralism and Identity, brought several million Americans together to talk and to listen to each other about what values we do share amidst all of our diversity. What holds us together as a single people? The answer actually is not really very complicated. We are a creedal nation, not a race or an ethnos. We are a nation based on a cluster of ideas. Democracy and the values that we associate loosely with the conception of the American dream lie at the core of our cultural bonds to each other. Our history is shaped by those commonly held values, and our history itself binds us together, no matter when our ancestors happen to have come to these shores. Now, listening closely to this national conversation, as I did, I heard Americans saying that they want a large area of life in which we all enter simply as Americans, with no differences, no matter what our particular cultural or racial or ethnic heritage might be. At the same time, Americans want our diverse heritages to persist, to be shared with each other, to be able to blend with each other, to mix and mingle, to borrow from and to lend to each other. Now, there is no reason that we can't be both just an American and a particular kind of American at the same time, especially if you realize that America is always evolving, never static, always traveling somewhere. And the meaning of those particular identities is always changing. I remember hearing an African-American woman, a lawyer, who was very active in the civil rights movement, explain during a conversation among a group of very diverse Bostonians that she had always thought that the African in her self-identity, African-American, was the most important part of those two words. Then she went to Africa and she discovered how thoroughly American she is. This is one of the stories that one hears frequently in conversations about our national identity. The experience of someone who thinks of herself as an outsider in America, who goes abroad and is not only immediately spotted as an American, but who discovers how different she is from her relatives in her ancestral home, how American she feels. America is a land of newcomers and outsiders. I remember also a very poignant exchange during a conversation in Buffalo, New York. An elderly Irish American told a story of his family's immigration to America and the blatant discrimination that it suffered. An African American woman in the group said, "I had no idea. A new relationship, you see, was born right there. A partnership of pain, if you will." There really is no significant group in America that does not have in its own history an experience with persecution. That is one of the things that makes our society so concerned as we are with equal opportunity, with belonging and not belonging. The dualities of American character exist because every strong cultural intonation stimulates a counter intonation. The dualities tell us, therefore, not whether we are optimistic or pessimistic, to take one example, but they tell us that the optimism-pessimism dimension is very important to us. Our todays are not fixed and determined, and our tomorrows are disconnected from our yesterdays, so we are more anxious than other nationalities about whether the future is going to be better or worse than the present, since it is less fixed. We swim, you see, in a sea of possibility. America is more about getting there than being there, more about the trip than the destination. It is about second chances, about starting again. When Huck Finn gets into trouble, he lights out for the territory. That wilderness in which the shackles of civilization melt away and he can be free. Free to become who he wants to be. Free to be himself, to choose himself. The territory, of course, is living territory. In the world, in the real world, what we have is education, learning. Not only schooling, mind you, but learning. Learning in all sorts of settings and in all kinds of ways. The crucial thing for you to understand is that education must not only be about how to earn a living. Those applied skills come and go all too quickly. Education, therefore, must be about lasting habits of thought and transferable intellectual capacities. Most of all, education should enable one to understand oneself enough to transform oneself. Increasingly, freedom comes from our ability to understand the intricately interactive world in which we live, to understand not just how to make a living in it, but how it works, and how our individual fate is bound up with forces and decisions and events that short years ago would have been irrelevant to us. If we don't understand those relationships, from our neighborhood to Nairobi, from our local community to Jakarta, we live imprisoned in fates and identities that are fashioned for us by others. Nothing could be more un-American. So, don't look at your graduation as a completion. It is just one more makeover out of many that lie ahead of you. You are on America's journey. It is a journey that has education with you. Education will be your companion every step of the way. Unless, of course, you decide to take the advice that Bob Hope gave to one graduating class. He looked out at them and said, you are about to leave these cloistered, comfortable, protected halls and venture forth into the cold, cruel world, and I have just one bit of advice for you: don't go.
Thank you, Dr. Hackney, for your thought-provoking remarks. The creative talents of two of our faculty came together in 1995 to produce a composition fitting our university. Here now to sing in our alma mater, written by Patrick McGuire and composed by Frank Mueller, is Scott Wayrout. He will be accompanied by the brass works. Please stand. ensure that we acknowledge the efforts of UW Parkside's faculty and staff at this time. They have worked hard to help our graduating students accomplish their goals. So I ask all staff and faculty who are in attendance today to rise and be recognized. Thank you. We will now proceed with the conferral of degrees. Associate Vice Chancellor Ron Singer will now present the candidates.
Candidates for the Master of Business Administration and Master of Applied Molecular Biology degrees will please rise. Chancellor, I present these candidates for degrees. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the University of Wisconsin-Parkside and upon the vote of the Regents, they will receive their appropriate degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and upon the vote of the Regents of the University of Wisconsin system, it is my pleasure to confer the degree appropriate to the courses you have completed, and in testimony thereof, you will receive the diploma. Please be seated.
Will Graduate Marshal Angeline MacArthur have the candidates for Master of Business Administration and for Master of Applied Molecular Biology approach the side of the stage to receive their diplomas and their master's degree footing? Tenuta, MBA. Annette C. Jackson, MBA. Sharon Howard, MBA. Timothy Novak, MBA. Anna Maria Singer, MBA. Joseph Dean Ellison, MBA. Bonnie DeLeo, MBA. Beth Myers, MBA.
Guess we know her, huh?
I would. That'd be my guess.
Pamela Crosby Johnson, MBA. Deborah Ruth Rochek, MBA. Carolyn Messersmith, MBA. Joseph C. Michelli, MBA. Sorry, that's John C. Michelli. Dawn M. Court, MBA. Barbara Lynn Griffin, MBA. John Eugene Rafalski, MBA. Lucianne Kimona Socorro, MBA. Candidates for Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts degrees will please rise. Chancellor, I present these candidates for degrees. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the University of Wisconsin Parkside, and upon the vote of the Regents, they will receive their appropriate degrees.
The faculty, and upon the vote of the Regents, it is my pleasure to confer the degree appropriate to the courses you have completed, and in testimony thereof, you will receive the diploma. Please be seated.
Will Dean Richard Stoltz of the School of Business and Technology present candidates from his school? Will Marshals Gail Cook and Walter Felt have the candidates begin to approach the side of the stage to receive their diplomas from the Chancellor?
Degree candidates from the School of Business and Technology receive the Bachelor of Science degree in their respective disciplines. Kimberly Ann Wagner, Business Management, summa cum laude. Heather Louise Wittenberg, Business Management, cum laude. Stephen John Dobrinier, Business Management. Stephen J. Schermerhorn, Business Management, summa cum laude, Business Honors. Greg Dershna, Business Management. Frank Michael Lease, Business Management. Kurt Lindstrom, Business Management. Leah Marie Yankee, Business Management. Christine Blachik, Business Management. Wayne C. Worden, Business Management.
There's an old guy here.
Karen Marie Baldness, business manager. Jan Benny, business manager. Catherine Coleman, business manager. Ryan Edward Lee, business manager. Bruce John, business manager. Jonathan Hook, business manager. Marianne Novosel, business manager. Amy Lynn Liber, business manager. Jennifer Aurelia Poprowski, business manager. Jennifer Fletcher, business manager. Crystal Romet, business manager. Charles Ruby, business manager. John Seidel, Sander Dahl, business manager. Alexandrina Borisova Nikova, business manager. Summa cum laude, business honor. Joseph P. Coronel, business manager. Tracy M. Briscoe, business manager. Paul D. Getman, business manager. David Meade, business management, business honor. Jennifer Crazy, business manager. Amanda Gertie, business management, cum laude, business honor. Kimberly Haskey, business management, cum laude, business honor. Lowell David Wayne Hanson, business manager, cum laude, and business honor. Jody Kissel, business. Anthony Belberry. Mary Beth Nelson, business manager. Jeffrey Ryan Zastadil, Amanda Wilson, Shelley Davis, business management. Melissa Walter, business management. Stephen Joseph Sanders, business management, business management. Brian Dockel, business management. Douglas M. Waring, computer science. George Russell Kellogg, computer science. Computer science. Mike Meeker, computer science. Jason Moran, computer science. Christopher Riskus, computer science, magna cum laude. Timothy J. Weissman, computer science. Tammy Walter, business management. Dimitri Rogliano, Robert W. Taylor, business management. Business honors. Amy Christine Run, business management. Denise Ann Schneider, business management. Kathleen A. Goulat, business management. Marlene Ann Elfring, business management. Kelly M. Flocky, business management. Anne Marie Lush, should have been business management. Gloria Aker, business management, cum laude. Nicole Dessler, business management. Cora Lucinda Marguerite Fraser, Gail Marie Bentley, Nina Sorensen, business management. Daniel Strong, business management. Renato Rocca, business management. William Thomas, business management with business honors.
The Literacy Team, Ron Palalco, College of Arts and Sciences, presents candidates for this school. Will the Arts and Sciences Marshals have the candidates begin to approach the side of the stage to receive their diplomas from the chancellor?
In the School of Arts and Sciences, students receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in the following majors: Arts, Communication, Dramatic Arts, Economics,
Donna Marie Harvey, dramatic arts. Rebecca Alficus, dramatic arts, magna cum laude. Heidi Marie Maddox Eastler, dramatic arts, certification in elementary, middle, grade 1 to 9, and drama, grade 1 to 9. Brenda Sue Survey, English. Teacher certification in elementary, middle, grade 1 to 9, and English 1 to 9. Susan Survey, history. Teacher certification in elementary, middle, 1 to 9, and history, grade 1 to 9. Ryan Michael Fitzmiller, geography. Teacher certification, middle, secondary, 6 to 12, broad field social studies and geography, 6 to 12. Wendy Murray, economics. Teacher certification, elementary, middle, grades 1 to 9, economics, grades 1 to 9. Stacy Scott, English, elementary, middle, grades 1 to 9, and English 1 to 9, teacher certification. Melissa S. Weiss, sociology, elementary, middle, grades 1 to 9, and sociology 1 to 9, teaching certification. Margaret Ann McDonald, history, teacher certification, middle, secondary, broad field social studies, and history 6 to 12, English minor, cum laude. Holly Elizabeth Lomberg, history and secondary education certification, grades 6 to 12. Sean Medino Ciota, political science. Kyle D. Garrettson, criminal justice and political science. Michelle Powers, sociology. Danielle Rattler, psychology. Teresa Michelle Crump. Penny Lynn Fishbach, sociology and magna cum laude. Barbara E. Smith, political science, cum laude. Teresa Ann Jacobs, sociology, cum laude. Sarah S. Ishaco, international studies. Kelly Kruger Rocco, political science. Lori L. Medley, political science. Maya Josea, psychology. Honors program, cum laude. Althea Pardee Lawrence.
I'll be satisfied.
Martha Jean Carbojo Nielsen, psychology and Spanish. Barbara Lee Stokel, psychology. Summa cum laude. Margaret E. Costa, geography, magna cum laude. Don Nuttall, Don Nuttall Jr., political science. Chad Schulman, criminal justice, political science. Dustin K. Feeney, criminal justice, political science, cum laude. Danny Kara Brandt, physics. Kay Brandt, art. Mark Schultes, history.
Stephen Granger. Nicole Glass, geography. Bonnie Otto, geography. Rachel Whiteshek, geography, Margaret O'Malley. Joseph Nelson, history. Darren Holmes, Spanish. Carl Heinz, history and political science. Aaron Ambrose, English, political knowledge. Margaret L. Humphrey, humanities. Veronica Todd. Heather Ray Hanson, sociology. Kendra Cook, sociology. Heather M. Barson, psychology. Jason Thomas Dow, psychology and sociology. Sherry Merrill, mathematics, magna cum laude. Jennifer Crump, psychology. Wendy Lynn Ford, psychology. Nicole Marie Hansen, I'm sorry, Michelle Marie Hansen. Stephanie Tess, communication.
Stacy Michelle Derrick, communication. Amanda Marie Nadweski, communication.
Yeah, I figured as much. That's why I had to ask.
Communication. Gregory Thomas Moore, communication.
Start crying.
Janine L. Olson, communication.
Big bow.
Jeanette Claudet, communication. Shelley, communication. Lusaki. Aria Reed, communication. Jason M. Booth, Sr. Jesus Arfon, Nicole Elaine Daniel Christopher Francois, psychology. Kristen A. Latrosky, psychology. Jill Wallace, biological science.
Yeah.
Stella Marie Haningo, biological science. Dylan Pike Kim, biological science. Louis DeFranco, biological science. Matthew J. Collins, geology. Jack Byers, geology. Kimberly Michelle Connor, geology. Stephanie Ann Sophie, biological sciences. Jessica Seifert, biological sciences and environmental studies minor. Kate Allison Werner, biological sciences chemistry minor. Sandra P. Singer,
Faith Lund, sociology and interdisciplinary studies, magna cum laude. Susan Kennedy Tureen, sociology. Matthew D. Keeman, dramatic arts. Kevin Cushing, dramatic arts. Henry Hilbert. Levi Bradley, sociology. Tad A. Jacobs, political science. Matthew James Honorista, English and sociology. Susan and Vicky, English. Sarah Lynn Henschel, English and writing concentration. Suzanne Yvette Baer, English, writing concentration. Jennifer Lynn Puccini, English, writing concentration. Victor Hernandez, interdisciplinary studies. Everett Ann Remick, interdisciplinary studies. Elizabeth Kinahan, psychology, Lisa Marie Milano, anthropology. Daryl Donroe, mathematics. Andrew Von Dissen, mathematics. Rachel Carroll, sociology and psychology. Julie Renee Ortiz, psychology and sociology. Suzanne Urini, psychology. Joan C. Requejo, psychology. Susan Rayfield von Rees, Patricia Schofield, art, certificate in World Wide Web Publishing. Brenda Jean Deschler, art. Susan L. Nitz, English and political science. Brian D. Stahl, English. Jeremy Vanden Brandon, psychology cum laude. Catherine Rice, chemistry cum laude. Deborah Ivan, chemistry. Patricia Merchant, chemistry, magna cum laude. Shane Daniel Olson, chemistry and math. Mark Edward Rizzo, chemistry. Christy Dawn Christensen, chemistry and math. David A. Campbell, Margaret R. Bedard, music. Snejana Kujovic, Josie Chris Renee Zinninger, psychology, summa cum laude. Wayne Nichols Kirschner, psychology, magna cum laude. Tammy Elizabeth Plant, psychology, magna cum laude. Patricia A. Croft, psychology, magna cum laude. Tammy Kafka, psychology. Cheryl Lynn Chrisman, psychology cum laude. Kimberly Ann Burrell, psychology. Kim Tyson, psychology. Shonda Lynn Pop, psychology. Michelle Lynn DeDante, psychology cum laude. Elena Claire Sturt, psychology. Keith Gephardt, history. David B. Moa, sociology.
That concludes the conferral of degrees. I will now present awards to the outstanding graduates. Each year, the faculty in each academic department nominate one graduating senior for the outstanding graduate award. One of these students is selected to receive the Chancellor's Award by an all-university faculty, staff, and student committee. In addition, 5 students are selected to receive the Outstanding Graduates of 1998 awards. Will the following graduating students please come to the stage for presentation of these special awards? Margaret Kosa, Alexandrina Nikova, Gina Schumann, Barbara Lee Stoffel, Kimberly Wegner, and David Smuda. Margaret, would you raise your hand, please? Margaret Costa is one of the outstanding graduates from the College of Arts and Sciences. She has a geography major and pre-kindergarten through third grade teaching certification. She is president of the Student Wisconsin Education Association chapter at UW Parkside and has been a member of the UW Parkside Advisory Council, Kappa Delta Pi International Honor Society in Education, and a member of the Parent-Teacher Society at Freedom's Lutheran School. Peggy has been a volunteer at Kenosha Urban Outreach Center, the UW Parkside Child Care Center, and volunteered in 2 school districts. She was the 1997 recipient of the Geography Department's Duncan Memorial Scholarship, which is awarded for exceptionally high merit. She is graduating magna cum laude. Gina Marie Schindman. Gina, put your hand up so everybody sees you. Is one of the outstanding graduates from the College of Arts and Sciences. Gina is a biological science major with a psychology minor. She is the president of the Pre-Health Club and has been active in the UW Parkside volunteer program for 4 years. Gina has served on the UW Parkside Food Service Committee, been a Safe Walk volunteer, and participated as a mentor and tour guide for 2 years in UW Parkside's Women in Science Day. Gina is graduating magna cum laude. Barbara Lee Stoffel is one of the outstanding graduates from the College of Arts and Sciences. She is a psychology major. Barbara is a member of Psi Chi, National Honor Society in Psychology. She has earned outstanding academic achievement awards in sociology and psychology. Barbara has served as a bereavement counselor with All Saints Hospice Program and has been accepted as a research assistant at the Chicago Medical School for a 1998 research project. She recently completed research with a psychology professor, Benjamin Harris, to be published in a psychology journal. Barbara is graduating summa cum laude.
This is you right now. Kick it aside over there.
David Wayne Smuda is also one of the outstanding graduates from the College of Arts and Sciences. He is an economics major with a business minor. He is president of the UW Parkside Economics Club. He is a member of the Wingspread Scholars Program and the Honors Program. David is a tutor in the economics department and has taught a session of economics principles this summer. He is graduating magna cum laude. Kimberly Ann Wegner is one of the outstanding graduates from the School of Business and Technology. She is a finance major. Last September, Kimberly was chosen from the top students in the UW Parkside Department of Business to be a global market intelligence intern at S.C. Johnson Commercial Markets, Inc. She was selected to receive the Financial Executives Institute Outstanding Senior Student Award for 1998 and was honored by the Milwaukee chapter of FEI. Kimberly is graduating summa cum laude. Margaret, David, Gina, Kimberly, and Barbara, the university is especially proud of all of you. Thank you. to the individual selected as the outstanding student in the graduating class. The selection is made by a committee of faculty, staff, and students. It now gives me great pleasure to announce that the winner of this year's Chancellor Award is Alexandrina Nicola. Alexandrina is a Management Information Systems major with a Spanish minor. She is graduating summa cum laude. In their nomination letter and recommendations, faculty members from several departments throughout this university described her as having a keen intellect, a thirst for knowledge, a willingness to work hard, and having the creative spark that faculty truly enjoy finding in their students. Alexandrina Nicola left family and friends behind to come to UW Parkside from Bulgaria. Although she is fluent in 4 languages, English, Russian, Bulgarian, and Spanish. Her first opportunity to use English outside her foreign language classes was when she started college at UW Parkside. One of the faculty pointed out in his letter of reference that this was only one of the many hurdles Alexandrina was able to overcome through the bold, life-changing steps that she took as she completed her degree at UW Parkside. Alexandrina has excelled at Parkside and in the United States by focusing on her goals and applying her talents. In addition to her scholarly activities, she has served as an intern at Pace Corporation, where she has had the opportunity to apply her business and management information systems skills. She has been involved in Parkside activities. She also volunteers through her church and helps at a local soup kitchen. Alexandrina's hard work and dedication have not gone unnoticed throughout her time at UW Parkside and will serve her well as she applies her talents in new and exciting ways. Alexandrina, your dedication, leadership, and commitment to scholarship and the campus community exemplify the reasons that you were chosen for this award. We're proud to have you as a recipient of the Chancellor's Award for Outstanding Graduates Class of 1998. Alexandrina Nicola.
I'm honored to represent my fellow graduates on this special day. And on behalf of all of us, I would like to thank our wonderful faculty and administration for the unique opportunities that were offered to us at the University of Wisconsin-Parkside. After graduating from high school in Bulgaria, I thought my opportunities were very limited. Of the many universities I wrote to in the United States, Parkside was the only one that made it possible for me to earn my tuition and living expenses while going to school. For others, it has offered their only opportunity to earn a degree in their community while working full-time and raising a family. For all of us, it has provided a high-quality education from very dedicated faculty. Parkside professors are actively involved in the learning process of all of their students and gladly grant their help and encouragement both in and out of the classroom. Their efforts are greatly appreciated. I would like to commend all graduates on the long years of hard work and commitment that it took to reach this important juncture in our lives, and also acknowledge the help provided and sacrifices made by our families along the way. The knowledge and experience that we have gained here at Parkside have increased the opportunities open to us. As we all share in the joy of this accomplishment, we should also look towards the future and strive to continue to enrich ourselves, our families, our careers, and our community. The diplomas we received today show that we have knowledge. How we live the rest of our lives will demonstrate if we can successfully convert this knowledge into wisdom. Thank you very much and congratulations.
At this time, I would like to invite Stephen Vesey and Professor Doug Deviney to join me on the platform. Professor Deviney is the chairman of our art department. Odsey was born, educated, and received 80 years ago. He served in the South Pacific during World War II and returned in 1946 to Barry Marge. He and Marge raised 3 children and 5 grandchildren. When he retired, Steve came to UW Parkside, actually in 1979 to take yoga courses in Paiute. Then in 1980 he came to the art department. Every semester since then he's taken at least 1 or 2 courses, and since that time he's created an incredible body of work in printmaking and sculpture that is incredibly visually, high visual quality. He's on campus every day. You've probably seen him. Commuting to and from the campus by bicycle, rain, sun, snow, whatever the weather, Steve's always here. He's always been physically active. He was still running marathons in the 80s. Steve has been an inspiration to students, faculty, and staff, and is known by most people at Parkside, from students to chancellor. We wanted to honor him in a very special way for all that he's brought to our program and all that he's done for the students, faculty, and staff at UW Parkside. Steve, the art department, on behalf of UW Parkside community, have chosen to make you an honorary faculty member in the art department. You have served for so many years as a friend and a teacher to scores of art students. You have also served as a colleague and a friend to many faculty and staff. Steve, it's my pleasure to award you this honor, to thank you for your dedication and service to the people of this university and your continued inspiration to us all. That inspiration is to serve our educational dreams and remain lifelong learners. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge 4 retiring professors who have been at the university since its early years. Their contributions to the university are greatly appreciated and they will be missed. We're pleased to have 2 of them with us today. Would Professors Morris Fireball and Alan Shupard please stand? Professor Sanford Machero and Lieutenant Polly Superow were not able to be here, but our best wishes go out to them as well. To conclude the 1998 commencement, again I want to congratulate all of our graduates. We at UW Parkside wish each of you much success and happiness. I invite all graduates and their guests to a reception in main place immediately following the ceremony. Please remain seated until the reception was complete. Then please join us in main place. Thank you.